It was an election morning, and I was already set with my gadgets ready to shoot and enjoy myself. I was scheduled to do a documentary focusing on people living with disabilities. So I was supposed to visually investigate how people with disabilities participated in the elections, if the system treated them well or not, and if the section 54 of the Electoral Act that ensures that voters with disabilities have access to the sensitive to materials and devices were upheld. Yeah, I was in the polling unit at the post office Gariki, Abuja, as early as 6:30 a.m. The election officials and security also kind of came early. They started arranging the place, setting the several materials, especially the voting booth, which was actually one of the new innovations of the election. Earlier, I was also noticed some sort of disorganization. People were actually looking for their names because I guess INEC rearranged the polling units and created some new polling units. So people were looking for their names in the different lists on the wall. People started voting at the appropriate time in this place where I am. Maybe not at the appropriate time, but earlier enough compared to other locations. My friend Ambassador Sani voted, and he was later interviewed by some TV stations. Yeah, then I left that location to another location. I saw the turnout was actually very massive. Even some guys were sharing water and other stuff to fellow electorates, and people were having fun. Then I decided to go to my own polling unit at Ministers Hill Life Camp Abuja. Coincidentally, it is actually the same polling unit of the Minister of Communication and Digital Technology, Issa Patami. However, a very funny incident happened in my polling unit. The minister broke protocol and went to vote without joining the queue. People started protesting and insisting that he joins the line, but security and INEC officials persuaded and pacified the angry crowd. I then left there to Gorimpa Secondary School Life Camp, where voting, people started counting their votes, and as usual, Peter Obi of the Labour Party was leading very large margin, and the Labour Party was also leading in the senatorial and House of Rep also. And I later came back to my polling unit as at 8 p.m. Yeah, and the voting crowd was still very enormous, and a lot of people haven't voted. So I decided to go home though, and just to follow up on the elections and other news. Then I switched on my TV, and I saw Mr. Jack Appele, the country director of TAF Africa, talking about people living with disability. I was like, whoa, this guy is talking about my project. And I felt good about it. I felt good that I was doing a very meaningful work. Subsequent days, I think the next day, I started getting a lot of different post-election comments from men of God like Pastor Paul Eneche, and even several reactions other days as regards the outcome. People like Dino Melaye and some other politicians in the coalition center started talking, making comments and some sort of protest against the outcome of the election. So generally, this is my story of the election day on 25th of February in Abuja, Nigeria. Please kindly subscribe to my channel. I'm just starting, and I promise to give you something good.